Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool wooden wall crank telephone, and this is Carl's telephone from Missouri. And this is the initial check out of this telephone, and we're going to be converting this telephone for home use. And we have a tag on the front of this telephone that says the Sumter Telephone Company, and it's from Sumter, South Carolina. And it's a very cool telephone. It's probably pretty rare. And so what we want to do here is we want to kind of go through a little bit of everything. We know that we're going to have to do some body work here because we have a chip out of the spit cup. We know that we're going to have to upgrade the transmitter so that Carl has the modulation and the clarity to hold a conversation on this telephone. We also want to go through the receiver. This is the receiver capsule out of this telephone, and what has happened here is somebody has soldered a bunch of solder over the negative and positive side of the receiver capsule, and we want to clean that up and see if that's usable. If not, that will also be replaced. We want to get our line from our cloth cord to our receiver capsule connected back up. The cloth cord looks like it's in good shape and it's probably usable. Now we want to go through the bells, the solenoids. We want to make sure that they're going to work because at this time the bells are not ringing. And I do not want to try to crank the crank right now because it's very stiff and it's kind of hung up. We kind of want to just go through a little bit of everything. We also have to install a modular port so that Carl can walk up to this telephone and bring any length line cord, any color, into the telephone and plug it in. It makes for a nice, simple, plug-and-play, clean connection. We also are going to be installing a circuit that we design here at the shop, and that allows you to crank the crank and ring the bells, but not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line. But yet when you get a call coming in, a ring cycle, your bells will also ring. So we have a lot of work to do. We're going to have to rewire this telephone the way we want it wired to work the way we want it to work. We also want to show you the inside of this telephone, and what's very cool about this telephone is we have a schematic here on the door. So that's very cool, and it explains to you everything about the telephone, and they're even going to send you any part you need if it ever fails. So it's a really cool item. We also have our batteries. That's a plus. That's very cool to see the some original batteries that are in a telephone that were probably used with a telephone back in the day. You get to see the telephone, how it looked when they were using it. So that's a very cool thing to be able to look at the telephone and see what they were doing 80 to 100 years ago with this telephone and how it looked. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with a repair and conversion of this telephone. We're going to run through a little bit about what went on. When this telephone came in, the magneto would barely turn and it was not ringing the bells. So we went ahead and went through the magneto. That was oiled, cleaned, and adjusted. We went through the solenoids for the bells. We also adjusted the bells. We rewired this telephone the way we needed it wired to work the way we want it to work. We also installed a modular port so that Carl can bring in any line cord, any length, any color, and go ahead and plug it right in to the modular port. That makes for a simple, easy, clean plug-and-play connection. We also installed our electronics, and that is so that when you crank the magneto and ring the bells, it does not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line, but yet when you get a call that comes in, your original bells will still ring. We also went through and replaced the receiver capsule. Earlier in the video, we showed that that receiver capsule that was with the phone was probably a bad receiver, and it was. So that was replaced. We also reconnected our cord for our receiver capsule. We repaired the spit cup on the front of the telephone. The spit cup had a chip in it, so that was repaired. We installed an electronic amplified transmitter that we design here at the shop. So when you talk to someone on this telephone, you don't necessarily have to stand right up on the telephone and talk into the spit cup like they used to do in the old days. This electronic transmitter is almost like a speakerphone. It'll pick you up even if you're back away from the telephone a couple of feet. So we like to do that because people don't generally like to, walk right up to the telephone and talk to them like they did in the old days. So anyway, now what we want to do is we want to start our final checks. So I want to go ahead and ring this telephone with a crank. So we'll go ahead and do that. We also want to ring the telephone with the analyzer like you're getting a call, so we'll go ahead and start a ring cycle. We're going to let that go a few times. I'll let it go one more time. We'll give you some dial tone. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and hit the hook switch once. That'll take dial tone away. If you're watching the analyzer, if I tap on this spit cup and you see that red light, or when I talk and you see that red light, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. I'm pretty far back away from this telephone, and it's picking everything that I'm saying up. So every time you see that red light, we know that that's 100% modulation on transmit. So now what we can do is we have a switch box over here, and if I push this button, that gives us a line out. We'll go ahead and hang up. Give you some dial tone. And what will happen is I'm going to call a time and temp number with a tone dialer. And they're having some issues with their equipment. And you'll hear the recording start, and then you'll hear a hum, and then the recording will continue. That's on their end, has nothing to do with what we're doing. So we'll go ahead and give you some dial tone. We'll take our tone dialer.
Good afternoon. Today is Saturday, June 21st. The time is 12:53. Current temperature 100 degrees.
Partly cloudy, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, highs in the 90s. Partly cloudy tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, lows around 70. Partly sunny Sunday, showers and thunderstorms likely, highs around 90.
Now that we know that this telephone has been repaired and converted, we can return it to Carl, and he can enjoy this telephone now. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.